Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. My fellow XRP community members, the SEC just messed up, and it increases the odds of XRP holders participating in the SEC versus Ripple case. So says attorney John Deaton, who is indeed the attorney seeking to intervene in that case on behalf of roughly 19,000 XRP holders. And so, I gotta ask, does the SEC even know how much it's messing up? My gosh, the nonsense, the non sequitur logic, it's everything about this, and the attitude. It's everything about the way that the SEC is presenting their opinions in the case in general does not sit well with me. And it shouldn't sit well with anybody that is in possession of at least half of a human brain. And so there was this article that came out just yesterday, late in the evening, from Crypto Slate titled, SEC opposes Ripple, XRP, request relating to controversial Howey test. So I want to talk about that, and also a couple comments from attorney John Deaton, with one of them having to do with the SEC just bolstering the case for the need to have XRP holders recognized. But before I go any... one more thing too, before I get into this all. There's a video that was shared by my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Digital Asset Investor, and I want to share this thing with you, and John Deaton shared it too, and it just highlights the degree to which these asshats over at the SEC, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing is wrong, and they just don't give a damn. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as well. But before we go further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who likes making crypto-related YouTube videos all up on the internet, but just because it's a fun hobby. That's all that's going on here. I don't have any sort of actual expertise here. And so into this piece here from Crypto Slate, there's just a part of this that I want to read, and then I got a bunch of stuff to say about this. They have this little subheading titled, The Controversial Howey Test. In August, Ripple and Larson filed a motion to compel the SEC to respond to its interrogatories following the regulator's vague and ambiguous answers regarding the application of the Howey test to XRP transactions. As a response, the agency filed its opposition to answer interrogatories, identifying its theory of how the Howey test applies to virtually all of defendants' transactions in XRP over the last 8 years. And that was pointed out by XRP community member and attorney James Filan, who is a former federal prosecutor for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Connecticut, who also shared the filing on Twitter. And that's his tweet on the screen right there. And so, look, the SEC doesn't want to explain how the Howey test applies to XRP. They admitted that in a recent legal filing. And think about that. Their entire premise is that XRP satisfies the Howey test and thus is an unregistered security of Ripple. But they're unwilling to explain how and why the XRP transactions and sales of Ripple constitute securities transactions. Where's that good old-fashioned clarity the SEC insists it's offering? Where is that? Have you seen that? Have you looked under the couch cushion? Maybe that's where they left it. I'm not really sure. What about this? What about this refusal indicates that the SEC has the best interests of investors in mind? Nothing. As absurd as all of this is to any observer with at least half a brain, there is good news. The SEC continues to figuratively shoot itself in the foot. And part of the reason is that, I suspect, they're having trouble keeping track of their lies and disingenuous positions. And you'll see what I'm talking about as attorney John Deaton has highlighted an SEC admission that strengthens the case for XRP holders to participate. And it's astonishing to me, but the SEC months ago stated that XRP holders are sufficiently represented by Ripple, and thus Deaton and XRP holders should not be allowed to intervene in the case. Now, listening to them claim that made me wonder if the SEC has consumed crazy pills because XRP holders are investors and the SEC's mission is to protect investors. So how do they justify this idea that Ripple represents us XRP holders and the SEC doesn't? Well, they've never explained how that makes one damn bit of sense. And it gets more absurd, as now the SEC seems to be changing its tune a bit, admitting that in a court document that neither Ripple nor the SEC owe any fiduciary responsibility to XRP holders. Which leads us to this tweet. And this is from attorney John Deaton. He wrote the following. This admission bolsters XRP holders' request to participate in the case against Ripple and XRP. Both Ripple and the SEC admit that Ripple owes no fiduciary responsibility to XRP holders. Thus, we must be allowed to represent ourselves and protect our own interests. Yes, indeed. Ripple, nothing against them. It's not their job to take care of XRP holders, and the SEC already publicly stated months ago that they're not doing that. Even though that's supposed to be what they're doing. Nope. We are sufficiently represented by Ripple. They have publicly stated, oh, okay, thanks for nothing, you bunch of asshats. And so here's the screen grab from this legal filing. Request for admission number 67. So this is what Ripple wrote. Admit that Ripple owes fiduciary and other duties to the holders of common stock of Ripple. And the SEC responded in part, the commission admits this request. So they admit it, it's legally filed, and there we are. Good times for all, no doubt, right? And then there was this too. I love this. I got a couple more screen grabs that I'm going to pull up in just a moment that John Deaton shared with everybody. But he wrote the following. This ridiculous answer by the SEC is consistent with the absurd allegations made in the complaint. SEC claims all XRP holders entered into a common enterprise, not just with Ripple, but with every other XRP holder in the world, and we expected the money we used to buy XRP to be pooled. Now, think about this. You bought XRP from somebody somewhere on the planet, maybe not even in the United States. When you bought that, were you expecting that money to be pooled by Ripple Labs? Was that your expectation? What in the ever-loving hell is this nonsense? It's a bunch of jibber-jabber and hoo-ha. That's what I say. And so here's the first of three screen grabs. Request for admission number 86. And this is what Ripple wrote. Admit that a purchaser of XRP does not expect that the consideration paid for XRP will be pooled with the consideration paid for XRP by other XRP purchasers. And the SEC responded, the commission denies this request. Oops, I know it's absurd. And if you take a look at the original legal complaint, you can see just how off the rocker the SEC actually is. Take a look at this. This is a screen grab that John Deaton shared. So this little section is titled, Purchasers of XRP Invested into a Common Enterprise. Investors who purchased XRP in the offering invested into a common enterprise with other XRP purchasers as well as with Ripple. Because XRP is fungible, the fortunes of XRP purchasers were and are tied to one another and each depend on the success of Ripple's XRP strategy. In other words, Ripple's success or failure in propelling trading of XRP drives demand for XRP, which will dictate investors' profits, recognized in increased prices at which they could sell XRP or losses. Now, folks, if you're listening to this, you already know this is BS. This is an outright lie, and I say lie because they know this isn't true. These people aren't stupid; they're just bad people. Because if you just look at the data, you can see that Ripple what they're doing has no impact on the price action of XRP, just about 0%, right? It's just XRP moving with the rest of the market. And this is provably the case, by the way. You can absolutely prove this. It's not difficult. Get somebody that knows how to do a little bit of math, and you can absolutely prove this. And I'm sure that Ripple's going to do that should this court case proceed if there's actually no settlement. I would assume that that's something that would absolutely come up at some point in time here. But think about it. Like, I am 100% certain, and I don't say I'm 100% certain about many things, but I am 100% certain that if Ripple stops existing, XRP continues to exist, and it has utility, and people use it for various things, and it's one of the most liquid cryptocurrencies on the planet. And so I'm not counting solely on Ripple doing anything for XRP to be long-term viable. They're one participant, and they're an important participant, of course. I admit that, of course. Yeah. But they're one participant in the space. And one of the things that I've always found appealing about decentralized cryptocurrencies, which XRP most certainly is, it's that you can have a thriving ecosystem where multiple developers build on top of the blockchain, and then people look on the whole at that activity, and they look at how useful it is in their own daily lives. And there are also speculators as well, which is fine. I'm one of them. But like it's that type of ecosystem that determines where the price action of XRP ultimately goes. That's appealing to me. But to state that it's solely because of Ripple is an outright lie, and they freaking know it. And then there's actually one more. One's brief. This is the third screen grab. This is from the SEC in the initial complaint. They wrote, "The nature of XRP itself made it the common thread among Ripple, its management, and all other XRP holders." So my friends, I'll translate that for you. The very fact that XRP exists, like, that is what makes it a security. The fact that it exists, the very nature of it. So forget all the other stuff that we know is true. They want us to believe that we're the ones taking crazy pills. All the other utility and the reasons that people choose to buy and hold and sell it, and people that move it around to move money from one exchange to another because it's much better to do that than utilize like Bitcoin or Ethereum, even though they're larger in market cap and more liquid. People are using XRP voluntarily for a reason here. But despite all that, they say, no, just the nature of it exists, the fact that it exists, makes it the common thread among Ripple and its management and XRP holders. That's a lie. That is it. I'm not going to say untruth, because untruth is different. Like, you can speak something that's not true and not try to deceive people. They're lying here. They do know that, and they're bringing a lawsuit anyway because they're just, we can speculate here, they're just power hungry asshats. That's it. Now take a look at this. The digital asset investor shared this clip. And I transcribed it, so I'm going to read this. And so the reason this is a beautiful clip is because, don't forget, William Hinman, former SEC director of corporate finance, he has stated that his Ethereum free pass speech, which occurred in the middle of June 2018, when he said that it's just his opinion, but Ethereum, not a security, it's sufficiently decentralized, all that jazz, just his opinion. But we all know that's not true. The SEC trotted him out there after other people within the SEC helped him to actually write the speech, and it was intended to be perceived in the way that it ultimately was perceived, which was as official SEC degree and policy. That's exactly what happened. And after the public, in the media, reported it exactly as we know they intended to, they certainly had ample opportunity to change their mind. Like, whoa, guys, you're all talking about how this means that the SEC says Ethereum's not a security. Whoa, we haven't issued an official opinion one way or another. Did they do that? No. Which would be irresponsible if they actually meant that it was just William Hinman's opinion, but that's not what they did. You can think about SEC Commissioner Robert Jackson. All these videos unearthed also by DAI. He's a former SEC commissioner who cited specifically, he wasn't mincing words, he was very clear that this speech was intended to provide market guidance from the SEC, not just from Bill Hinman. And so here you have this clip where he's talking about that. And what I did is I transcribed this, and I highlighted when he was, instead of just saying it was me or my or just my own opinion, I highlighted the words where he used like we or the word are, and I'm going to use a strong emphasis, which is the right way to say the word emphasis, where he said that instead of me or I or anything like that. I'm going to put the emphasis on the words that indicate it was the SEC, in fact. And that's why this is very powerful. And then I'm going to share with you comments from attorney John Deaton on this exact clip. So here's what William Hinman said. We also last summer spoke a little bit about how we were looking at some of the more decentralized and seasoned digital assets like Bitcoin and Ether on the Ethereum network. And we made it very clear that at this point, we don't see a reason to regulate those as securities or transactions in those instruments as securities at this point. I know we're going to get into more detail on this, but that was another part of our exercise in terms of making it clear to the market how we look at those instruments. Now think about that. And so I've made my stance on this clear, but look at what John Deaton said and think about the implications of this. Here's what Attorney John Deaton said after viewing that clip. The SEC getting Hinman to sign an affidavit stating the speech was only his personal opinion and not that of the SEC's was both dumb and desperate. It was done out of fear of the fair notice defense. It's not true. Now the court will see how the SEC and Hinman lack credibility. Oh man, hitting the nail on the head. And so the fair notice defense that Ripple has serious teeth here, and it's the idea that Ripple, of course, operating in broad daylight, full transparency for the better part of a decade, the SEC says they should have known that what they were doing is wrong all along when there's been nothing but market confusion thanks to the SEC, right? There's been no indication from the SEC that what they were doing was wrong, but they were supposed to know. Well, no. And so if the fair notice defense stands, the SEC loses, and that's why they're afraid, and that's why they had Hinman sign an affidavit stating what he stated. It was only his personal opinion, but that clearly wasn't the case. These people are lying rat bastards. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Nambo.